There's a popular saying in leadership that if you think you're leading and there's nobody following you, you are only going on a walk. On this platform, you are going to learn principles of leadership. You are going to encounter different leaders. You are going to learn about how you can grow as a leader, how you can make an impact. My name is Samuel Eyim, and I'm the host for the leadership platform. I am a leadership coach, a lawyer by profession, a John C. Maxwell certified coach. I have been in corporate life in senior positions for several years, and now I run the Center for Transformational Leadership, where we train and coach leaders to become better leaders. And I invite you to go on a journey with us as we discuss the subject of leadership in the coming weeks.
This and every Saturday, you have opportunity to ask questions, share your views on important leadership matters.
Hello everyone, my name is Elsie and I'm excited that I just completed a 15-week journey with the CTL Africa team on the 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth by John C. Maxwell.
From the law of pain, I also learned that every problem introduces a person to himself. Honestly, till you face a problem, you wouldn't know the things that you actually have within you.
The journey for me personally was a wake-up call. Before I joined this journey, I wasn't actually learning at all. I wasn't adding any logic to what I knew.
So the law of trade-off is saying that you have to give up to grow up. So things that I think are not going to have maximum impact on my life, I have to trade them off.
I want to grow. I am not stopping now. I am continuing. And as far as I'm concerned, like it says, you cannot give what you don't have. I definitely will have to give what I have learned off to others and then get more so that I can continue giving. I am not going to be a reservoir. I am going to be a river, and therefore I'm going to continue learning to be able to give of my best.
Ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results on a consistent basis if they have a system, if they have a plan.
You see, the only thing you got to worry about tomorrow is making sure that you make today count. This is your day to learn how to change your world.
I need you to focus on why you were born.
Let's not lose what made us, but let's grip the future and let's become the best version for next year.
Most success is when a person develops ordinary qualities to an extraordinary degree through the application of hard, sustained work.
Now, for some people, this is not easy, but there is no good reason for not doing it.
You and I were created to make a difference.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning from wherever you are joining us. We are back again with the leadership platform where we have so many people who continue to join us. And I can see already Douglas Amwating, joining us from Tema. So if you're joining us, please put your name and where you're joining us in the chat, and we will, as Sam will always say, announce you to the world. We are streaming live on YouTube as well as Facebook. So wherever you're joining us from, please put your name and we'll be happy to announce you. My name is Sarah Jessie Apia, and I am going to support Conrad Kakraba, who is going to be our host today. But before I bring Conrad on, I just want to tell you that, yes, you saw 2 adverts, one for the growth journey, which is ongoing. We are yet to complete the 4th cohort that will be completed end of September, and we start the new cohort in October. Wonderful. So be sure to register for it, and I believe Abigail will share with us the link where you can register for the growth journey. And as I'm speaking, I can see Ebenezer Ni Ama has joined us. Great to have you, Ebenezer, as well as Cynthia Mattinson, who is always very consistent in joining us. Good evening, Cynthia, and Ebo Kumson. Great to see you joining us also from Tema. So please go ahead and announce who you are. Dr. Desiree Neboua from Senegal. Alors, bonsoir, madame ou monsieur. Enchanté. We are happy to have you with us, and I am joining you from Geneva, Switzerland. So go ahead and announce yourself. Now, the next announcement is also for our annual Leave to Lead. October 7th, the first Friday of October every year, we bring to you, in collaboration with the John Maxwell team from Atlanta, we broadcast live Leave to Lead to you in Accra, Ghana, and we are one of 300 sites across the world bringing Leave to Lead 2022. This year we have powerful lineup of speakers. We have John Maxwell, of course. We have Patrick Lencioni. We have Tim Elmore, all the way from Atlanta, joining us in the afternoon. In the morning, we will have our own Patrick Ewa from Ashesi University joining us. We have Uncle White joining us, and many, many prominent people joining us to really share leadership lessons with us. So be sure to reserve your ticket, get your ticket. The early bird is still on, and it will end on the 31st of August. Do so quickly before, as you know, the CD is really going down compared to the dollar. So quickly grab your seat before the early bird is out. Great. So now I'll bring on our host, who will give us the topic for today, which is very exciting, and I cannot wait to hear from this young lady who is going to share with us. So without much further ado, I'd like to introduce the host, who is an accomplished journalist, a world-class communicator and lecturer at the Heritage University, and he is no other than Conrad Kakraba. Conrad, over to you. Take us
All
away.
right. Thank you very much, Sarah, for such very sweet accolades that you have just heaped upon me this evening. A very good evening to you, and thank you very much for joining us for the Leadership Platform. The Leadership Platform is hosted by Mr. Samuel Eyim, but today I have to stand in for him because he is in another engagement, very important that he has to be there. And so I'm very glad to be the host this evening. And the Leadership Platform is where you get educated, you get challenged, you get motivated to be your best, to do your best, and to learn from the best. And so that you too can really live out the leadership potential that is in you. And tonight, we've got another seasoned person. You know, this period, we are looking at extraordinary leadership stories. We are looking at individuals who are doing something in their own right. I mean, ordinary people, but doing extraordinary things. And that is what we are looking at this period. And so today we are looking at a young woman. She is Elinam Horgli, and we are focusing on the model of a young business leader, the story of Elinam Horgli. I've had occasion to meet with her and interact with her, and she has a lot under her sleeve. Just stick and stay with us as we go through this particular period. So Elinam Horgli is the Deputy Managing Director of J.K. Horgli Transport and Company Limited. And that company is the largest 100% Ghanaian owned and operated petroleum transportation business in Ghana and West Africa. Please, let me take that again. So J.K. Horgli Transport and Company Limited is the largest 100% owned, Ghanaian owned and operated petroleum transportation business in Ghana and West Africa. And she is the deputy managing director of this company. And she's got a lot to tell us about how she's been able to play that role, managing over 700 staff, across the country and even outside Ghana. And she's also the chairperson of the management committee of Hask Petroleum, Petroleum, H-A-S-K Petroleum. And she is also an entrepreneur on her own. She is the MD of Ablah Trading and Advisory Limited. She'll tell us more about all of these. She's a change maker. She's a youth and gender activist. And by way of education, she's got an executive MBA, Master of Business Administration from the China Europe International Business School. And then also she's got an MSc, a Master of Science in Innovation and Technology Management from the University of Bath in the UK. And then she's got a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology from the University of Cape Coast. Glad to welcome Elinam Horgli to come and share her extraordinary journey with us. Hello, Elinam. Good evening.
Hi. Good evening, Conrad. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Glad to meet with you here again.
Yep. It's always a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah. So, well, tonight we want you to share your story with us. We want to inspire people. We want to be real with people. People see us and they see other people and they don't know the inside story. They don't know what exactly made them who they are, how they were able to jump through the hurdles in life to become what they are today. So today you are under the spotlight. And so let's begin. Tell us, how did this all begin? First of all, your personal story, your background as a lady, your family background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I come from, hi everyone. Hello everyone. I'm Elinam. Everybody calls me Ellie, so feel free to call me Ellie. My background, let me see. I come from a huge family, very big family. And it's been a family that has transformed over the years. A lot of people, this thing where a lot of people see your glory right now and they never understand the story behind the glory.
Sure.
So growing up, I've always been a regular child. We never had the perception that you're growing up in wealth, because we didn't. When I was growing up, my father was a tanker driver. And so we lived in an apartment. It was rented. The landlord was flexing. My mother was the push force behind that because she was a banker. So she pushed behind that for us to move into a house that my father was building, which was uncompleted. And we just managed to, get it ready. And so growing up, it's never been, I'm a rich man's daughter. It's just, I had a father who paid my school fees and, who was able to take care of the house. So that's how I grew up. And I mentioned that because it's important for people to understand why I behave the way I behave. A couple of people see me and say, why are you so, you're kind of humble for who you are. It's because they say you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Mine was probably maybe bronze, because I won't say that I've struggled, but I wasn't born into, a mansion. Exactly. And so that's my background growing up. My mother has always been the force behind my humility and my down-to-earthness, because that's what she preaches. And my father is the force behind my stubbornness and drive to succeed, because that's what he preaches.
Oh yeah.
Yes. He hates idleness, and ever since we were children, he's been like that. Long vacation, go to vacation classes. Long vacation, go and learn graphic design. Long vacation, come and type something in the office. Yes. Ever since I was 13 years old, he used to carry me around. He doesn't like me to be idle. He thinks it's well, you know, they say the devil finds works for the idle hands. So he's very he's a strong advocate of that. And that's how I grew up. My love for IT started actually because my father won't let me stay in the house. One long vacation in JSS, he sent me to go and learn computer science. You know how these things are, go and learn IT. And that's when I realized that this is what I want to do in life. And I pursued it all the way to Cape Coast. I loved the course. I didn't complain about anything throughout the whole course. I would do it again if you paid me. And then from there, I decided to go and do my master's. And I had 2 offers from London School of Economics and then also Bath. But the School of Economics was more data management and Bath was innovation. And I've always been a creative. Funny enough, my whole life, even though I am intelligent, I've always been a creator with my hands. I draw, I sculpt, I do all those things. So when it was innovation and technology, it was like putting creativity and science together. And so that's why I chose that course. I did that, and I hoped I would come to Ghana and come and do, you know, what I love, which is community development through innovation. But I got back, and like I said, my father has always had us in the business, you know. So from childhood, you're always there. And I come back from school, and he says, "No, come and do this." And so I joined the family business to do something for a while. Then I can go and do my own thing. And unfortunately for me, when I joined, we had an administrator who left. And so I just took it up. And because of how quickly I pick up things, so that's how I started in the family business, and it's been like that since.
Wow, thank you so much for giving us that background information about you. But let's go a little bit way back, because I know very well that this petroleum industry journey did not start with your father. You told me some time ago that it started way back from your grandmother. Tell us that bit of the story.
Okay, so this is a story that I love telling because it's inspiring for me. Like I said, I wasn't interested in the family business. IT and transport, they don't go together, right? But when I joined the family business is when I started hearing the stories from some of our old drivers, because we had drivers that have been with us for over 20 years, some almost getting to 30 years. So they know the story. Some of them even trained my father to drive, so they know the story. So when they started telling me the story, then I realized, oh wow, this is who my grandmother was. When I was growing up, she was just grandma, you know. But apparently she was a trader, a seamstress and a trader who decided to make a little quick money off of selling kerosene to her fellow traders in the night, because they needed kerosene to burn their lanterns in the market. And because she was such a good seamstress, she was recommended to the then wife of the MD of Shell in Ghana. And so because she was, so because she was close to the woman, she'll say, oh, seamstress. But because she was good at what she did, she got recommended. Now you see, you have to be good at what you're doing before you get a step up. Utilize what you have now, then you can get higher. So she was recommended, and then she saw that opportunity, and she asked the lady, can you get your husband to get me somebody who can sell me petrol? And that was it. So they sold her kerosene, not petrol, kerosene, and she sold it to the market women. The market women went home and told their husbands that there's this lady that is selling kerosene, because the kerosene was scarce. And then the husbands came and bought it because they also want to go hunting in the night, and they need kerosene for their lamps. And then so she went from 1 gallon to 2 gallons on a bicycle to 2 bicycles to buying drums of kerosene now. And then she saved. And one thing about my grandmother and my father also is the way they manage money. no matter how much money my father has, you won't see him living luxuriously. He doesn't do that. He believes in reinvesting in the business, yes. And so she reinvested in the business and her business kept growing. So imagine from 1 gallon of kerosene, she was able to buy a pickup that she puts the drums behind. And then they started distributing that. And then she started buying trucks. And this is somebody who hasn't gone to school a day in her life.
Yeah.
So they used to tell me that when she goes to buy the truck, she just points at things. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And you can't cheat her.
She was a shrewd businesswoman.
Very shrewd, very shrewd. And that's how she managed to sign a contract with Shell Petroleum. Still uneducated, but she signed a contract. And again, point. She still couldn't read and write, but she knew what to write in there. That's my grandmother's story. And my father picked up his interest in petroleum from there, and that's how he also started his own business. Yes.
And he was a tanker driver. How did he now get to start his own business? We are now connecting the dots.
I'm telling you, it's the same thing as my grandmother, reinvesting his profits. So, in as much as my father was a small show boy when he was growing up, because I've seen some pictures, he always reinvested the money, and he had help. He tells me that my mother, who was a banker at the time, showed him how to put the money in the bank and what to do at the end of the day. Because before he met her, when he gets money, he's a driver, he's got money, so don't go and blow the money and enjoy the money and put the money in his drawer in his house. And she says, you can put it in the bank and you can use that to take a loan, and so she pointed him in that direction. And once he started gathering the money in the banks, then he could start making transactions, bigger transactions. And that's how he started with buying his first truck. And then he now bought a truck again and employed somebody and then started. So one by one, and now it's close to 500. So yes.
You don't mean it.
Yes. Yes, if we've not passed 500 already, yes.
Petroleum products across the country and West Africa.
Yes, please.
Awesome. This is interesting. So how did you get involved?
I'm telling you, I'd say it's destiny and duty.
Okay.
Because I remember I said, my father always had us in the business growing up. You have to join the business somewhere. You have to do something. So when I was in university, which was more formal, when I was in university, level 300 long vacation, I would come home and then I'd work in the accounts department. It's like as a click, just to calculate a few things and make sums. And that's what he does. He will start you from somewhere low, go to the stores and count something, do something. And so that's where you start understanding the business, because if you're calculating how much revenue a truck is making on that small paper, you begin to understand how the truck makes money.
Okay.
So I did that level 300 long vac. I did that level 400 after I had finished submitting my project work before I started my master's. So when I came back from my master's and I was supposed to work in the business, I decided to do a year in the business, because the business paid for everything I have.
Okay.
So I started in the admin department. I was with the then administrator. And then he resigned. He had to travel, so he resigned. And we had an audit coming up. So trying to get somebody new and training the person would have been too much. So I again, because I'm a quick learner, they put me in there. And because of how abruptly he'd left, there was no proper handing over. So I had to do a lot of Google research to find out what the administrator does and all of that. And then some of our clients also came over to teach us a few things, and I picked up from there. We did the audit. At the time, my big brother was the general manager, so he also helped me a lot with coaching, a lot of coaching. Yes, and so he and I, and then the rest of the managers, we put the metal to the grind, as they say, bend the midnight oil. Sometimes we closed at 2 a.m. because we just had to. Some key people resigned, so he and I just had to. And we did it, and the audit was successful, and my father was happy, and I got excited about the business because during the audit, I saw where there was some lack that IT could fix.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, there's a project here. Let me do this project. So I started, and that's exactly. So that's how I started. I tried to make a lot of manual things, automatic, did the website, a couple of things, So so that's how I started in the business, and I've been growing ever since, from admin to HR to operations now to deputy MD.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I feel like clapping for you. Yeah, yeah. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. You had a first class in uh, information technology at the University of Cape Coast.
Yes.
That
Yes, I
was
love that
really
course.
great. Yeah, I can see really. And for a lady getting into IT, how has it been with you? And how have you succeeded with it?
Passion, interest. Those are the two
Okay.
first things that I'll say. Passion and interest. I had the passion for IT, like I said, because of the course I did in GSS. GSS vacation. I did an IT course, just an introduction to IT, small web development, small Microsoft suite, but it was like everything I've ever wanted, because it's creativity and science, and I'm a scientist. So imagine putting creativity and science. It was just everything I've ever wanted, and it challenged my brain very beautifully. So
At SHS,
when I went,
you read general science? Did you
yes,
read?
I did science.
Oh, I see.
Elective science.
Where was
Yeah,
that?
elective science. St. Mary's.
Whoa.
St.
I
Mary's
went to St.
College.
Mary's Boys, and so you went to St.
Look
Mary's
at
Girls.
that.
You qualify that.
Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. So you
What a
read general
coincidence.
science, and then you went on to read IT at the University of Cape Coast.
Yes.
And you fared so well in it because you loved
I
it.
loved the course. Every challenge they threw at me was like an adventure. I remember I was doing very bad in Java programming when we started. I did very horribly in the first quiz. I was like, what happened? So I saw the results. I was like, no. I got to fix this. And I just went and learned. And the exam, with what I got in the quiz, I shouldn't have been able to get an A. But I got an A at the end of the semester. And I went to the lecturer and said, what happened? And he said, this question, why did you solve it like this? And I said, I read it in this book. He was like, because I didn't teach you that method. And because you used that method, you got extra scores. I was like, okay, let's go. I love the course. And every problem was a challenge. And I just
great.
at it.
And how did you apply these IT skills in fixing some of the problems at your father's company?
Okay, so there's a lot of data that a company generates. There are two main places that we generate data in the business: the driver and then the truck. Because the driver performs activities and the truck performs activities. Now, all that data is information you can analyze to predict trends, to predict future occurrences, to understand why you're having certain delays or issues here. But if you don't design the data collection properly, it won't be useful to you. So when I joined the business and we did that audit, I realized there was a vast amount of data. So far, what the data they were tracking was finance data, finance and volume. So they were using it to predict the budgets and those things. Yeah. But there was data on how long it takes to repair a truck. There was data on how long it takes for a truck to move without breaking down. There was data on the kilometers a car can drive in this number of hours. So there was so much data. And when you take that and you analyze it, you can start developing trends on the most effective routes to take. You can start developing trends on how good it is for the kind of turning the car should turn, because if the car turns in a certain way, you're depleting the tires a certain way.
I see.
So there's so much you can do with the data.
Wow.
And that's what I started doing is, first of all, you have to design the way you collect the data. So people collect the right data for you, and then design the way it is analyzed. And then you do the picture for people to see. Because if you give them numbers, they won't get it. But if you do a graph and show them, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're missing out on this. So that's what I did.
I see. That's really exciting. What would you say to ladies who may be excited about IT, but they're having challenges and they don't really know what to do, and it's a male-dominated field? What would you say to them?
Oh, IT is not a male-dominated field. Don't think about that, because IT is brain work. And I've said this. Yes, IT is brain work, and I've said this a couple of times. If it's something physical, I can say yes, male-dominated, because the men are built more stronger than us biologically. But when it comes to brain work, that's where we're both equal. And IT, you can use it purely your brain. It's about taking the data that the computer generates and applying it to a solution that can solve a problem. So ladies, don't think that is a male-generated world. There are women that are mathematicians. There are women that are physicists. There are women that are chemists. There are women that are doctors. So if they can do that, you can do IT.
I see.
And the wonderful thing about IT is it's applicable in every job. Every single job now, technology is applicable.
Wow.
And so you can take IT, right? If you, I'm going to use this example. Your mother may be a trader in Makola. You can take IT and start recording how much she purchases and how much she sells, the duration it takes for her from purchase to sale, and be able to tell your mom that you're wasting money on tomatoes, you should buy more onions. You're wasting money on potato. It's really, really important. So yeah, that's what I don't think it's male dominated. You can apply it anywhere.
Great. Now, what are some of the success stories from your company as a result of some of these methods and new ways of doing things that you've introduced?
Okay, so we have shortened the employment time that it takes from employment. And then now we have data on the types of people that succeed during the employment process now.
Tell us about the time you used to take in the past and what it has become right now.
Okay, so in the past, we had applicants all the time and we just took applications. When we were ready, we would call you. It would take us sometimes 6 months, sometimes 9 months to be able to get somebody from application to the truck. That has dropped by 3 months only because we have a strict protocol. You have to do 3 months probation. So that one, you can't drive. But it's taken us less time. And then also what it has really done is impact the kind of applications we receive now. And so it's reduced the workload on HR because now she has a system to sift out applications before it even gets to the driver manager for him to go through. Apart from that, we've also recorded massive improvements in maintenance because now we have a schedule that you can track. And then that will tell you that this truck is likely to have problems. You need to change it at this time. Yeah, so those are the things, and those are reputational issues that you will save. Your trucks are not breaking down and those things.
And ethically, I mean, how clean has it been for you? Accidents and all of that.
Okay, so we have an accident tracker that we've had, obviously, if you're driving on the road, you have exposure. So we've had people scratching our vehicles, we've had people hitting our vehicles and those things. But in terms of an accident that has totally destroyed the vehicle or killed somebody, we've not had any of those accidents since 2007. So it's almost, yes.
Interesting. Now, let's zoom in a little bit on family businesses. I mean, many family businesses do not just succeed after maybe the first 5 years, or I mean, there's no continuity. How has yours been able to overcome these challenges?
Good question. Good question. Interest is the first one. I told somebody the last time talking about family business that I don't know any family business that started as a family business. It always starts as an individual's drive. Somebody wants to achieve something and he starts the family business. And so when you start a business, you don't structure it in a way that your child should come and take over. You structure it in a way that it will succeed under your goal and your guidance. And so it gets to a point where you realize that, okay, I've kept this business for this long. I need to start structuring it for takeover. Most people don't do that thinking, that I need to start structuring it for takeover. Most people don't get there. They just die on seats. And so because they didn't structure the business for takeover, the takeover is unsuccessful. So what we have been able to achieve, be it by dint of luck and blessings, is that my father took an interest early in the business, in what his mother did. And so he started a different angle of it. He didn't really continue her business. He started his own, but it's in the same line, and there was guidance from her. So it's in the same line, and that's how he pushed it forward. So the first thing is interest from the next generation. There has to be interest. And my mentor, Professor Martin Rowe, will say, succession is only possible if the successor is identified quickly and the successor is willing and able.
I see. The successor must be identified quickly, and the successor must be willing and able.
Whoa. Because sometimes you
how do
identify
you
the
fit into all of
success.
that?
Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Uh-huh.
I think like, you remember I mentioned my father used to take us to work at a very young age.
Okay.
And so I didn't let's say come back from Bath in the UK and then just meet a business.
Yeah.
By the time I came back from Bath, I knew the business. I already knew the business.
Mhm.
And even though it wasn't my plan to take over, I already knew the business, and it is easier for me to fit into the business.
Okay.
And I wasn't the one he identified as a successor. He put every of his children that is willing and able through the business. If you want to come. That was him. Because you never know who is the one that is going to, be the final. So for him, if you're willing and able, come. And so that's how it's been. Willing and able. I've been able for a long time, and eventually I became willing. I didn't start as willing, but eventually.
Awesome. Yeah. So we are speaking, if you just joined us, we are speaking with Elinam Ablah Horgli. She is telling us an extraordinary story as a model of young business leader, how the father was a tanker driver, and now he has acquired 500 trucks, 500 trucks across the country and even West Africa, hauling petroleum products. And she too just came into the business, and she's risen up to become the deputy managing director of the J.K. Horgli Transport and Company Limited, the largest 100% Ghanaian-owned and operated petroleum transportation business in Ghana and West Africa. And Elinam, I want to now find out, what's your daily routine? You must be a busy lady, very busy lady. What's your daily routine? Describe when you wake up till when you come and sleep, and the number of people you interact with and manage and all of that. Tell us.
It depends on the day. It depends on the day. Because of the kind of work I do, there is office work, and there's meetings, there is outside the office work, and then there's field work. So it depends on the day. If it comes to my going to the trucks, traveling around the city, traveling around the country. I've been through the bushes, I've been to the mines, I've been yes.
Wow.
You can't understand what your people tell you if you don't go.
Along.
Oh, I would have sent you some.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
wow,
sometimes as leadership, you need to show commitment. If you tell people that inspect your vehicles, you need to show them that you're also inspecting the vehicles. And so we go out, I do inspections, I climb the bulk to check the top. I do all that.
You do?
So, yes.
I see.
It's quite exciting.
With your
and also it
fine face
motivates
and all this hair and all of that.
yes. It's very motivating. And when they see you on the bulk, it's like you are going through what we are going through. You understand us. If you're always in the office and they come and tell you, they will never. They will always think that you don't know what I'm going through.
Exactly.
And so that's why, for instance, if I'm going on a field trip to, let's say, the mines in Kumasi or Ashanti region, I won't take a plane to Kumasi. I will drive. So that, and when I'm driving, I stop some of the trucks on the road. We do an assessment of the driver. I ask them what's going on. So they see you on the road. Yes, they see you on the road. They know that you're here with them.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So that when they come back to the office and they're telling you something, even for you yourself, is relatable.
Exactly.
So it depends on the day. Usually Mondays, I start with a meeting, and then I go into emails. I do my emails on Monday. And at the end of the day, around 3 o'clock, I probably do reports for my father. If he's in the office, I'll do reports. On Tuesdays, it's purely meetings, all day meetings. Wednesdays is when I work with some of the auxiliary businesses, so like some of the family businesses. I check on reports, we have board meetings and all those other things. On Thursdays, again, we go back to emails. And so I check emails all through the week, but I dedicate these days to email. So on Thursdays, again, we go back to emails and meetings with the staff. So my HSC meetings will be on Thursdays. My management meetings will be on Thursdays. And then on Friday, I do my best to stay on the field all day so that they can interact with me. Even if I'm not in the field, I am outside my office talking to some of my staff in the main operations office, in the stores, in the maintenance department, just there, because your presence is very, very important in a business like this. Yeah,
interesting. And You also have a personal business. Tell us about that. The the Ablah Trading and Advisory Limited, and then you have an NGO. Tell us the things you do on the side that are not your father's business.
Okay. So remember, I mentioned in the beginning that I'm a creative. Now, in the transport sector, you don't get to be very creative. You have to be structured because creativity in petroleum kills people. You need to follow rules. Yes. Petroleum is a very dangerous business. So you need to follow rules and you have to stay by them. This is not the time to get creative. And so, but I still have that creativity in me. I've always had it as a child. And when you don't utilize a talent, you either get frustrated or it dies. And for me, I get frustrated about it. So that's why I started my own business. So Ablah Trading and Advisory is mainly about solving community problems through global solutions. So we're doing things like plastic, changing the plastic ecosystem. Plastic is not a problem, it's the disposal of it that's a problem. So changing the plastic ecosystem, designing for change. We're very focused in the circular economy. So you design the plastic in such a way that it is recyclable, so that it's not just single use. And so that's where we are really pushing our innovation. We're trying to work with street boys to help us with the collection of plastics, because the collection of the plastic is not the problem. The transportation of the plastic is now more expensive than the waste plastic that the companies buy. There are companies in Ghana that do buy waste plastic. They do that. But transporting the waste plastic to them is very expensive. So we're trying to redefine the ecosystem so that we can reduce that cost and then get the plastics out of the bin before Zoom Lion comes. Because once the plastic gets to the what's the name? The dump sites, it's very difficult to get out of the environment. So that's where my main focus is. I also do coaching over there where I coach.
Sorry, before you go there,
career.
The plastic business, have you really started it? Have you succeeded in doing the kind of thing you've been envisaging? Have you been supplying to companies and all?
Okay, so we've done some buyback campaigns with Gripe Ghana, where we went to Nungwa, the Nungwa community, and then we encouraged people to bring their plastics for us to buy back. And that's where we discovered the problem that people do have plastics. It's the collection that's the issue, which started the innovation in that sector. And it's been a very interesting journey so far, because it's almost a non-profit venture. But I'll figure out a way to make it profitable.
Sure. Amen. Yes. So the second part of your business, you were talking about branding or something like that.
Yes, branding and coaching, especially career coaching for both young adults. So I have mentees in secondary school all the way to university, and some fresh graduates that I want to coach on careers. And there's a lot of entrepreneurship coaching, but not everybody's an entrepreneur. Everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur. There are some career professionals that have more money than entrepreneurs because there's a need for their skill. So I'm trying to coach people to find the value that the market needs and then do that course. That's why I'm starting from SS. So before you choose your university course, look at what the market needs and then pick the course that will get you a job. Some people are just going to school, doing any course, and then expecting the market to hire them. If I don't need an administrator, I won't hire you. So that's the other part of my business. And then I sell.
Okay, so Elinam, you said you sell. That we lost you a little bit. You said you sell what?
Oh, okay. I sell fast-moving consumer goods. So right now, I'm selling some wines from Argentina.
Hey,
so
please, I beg you, I need some.
Oh, no problem. We'll talk after. I'll send you some. Right now, wines,
I see. Interesting. Now, let's talk about. We are just about winding, down now. But let's look at your personal values. They have been littered in the story, but maybe just summarize for me 5 personal values that have guided you and made you who you are today.
Okay. The first one is a love for God.
Oh, great. I was about to ask about your faith as well. It's good you're touching on that.
It's a love for God. It started early. I remember when I got converted, I was 9 years old. So yes, it's a love for God. It's guided me a lot in my life. That's the first one. And the second one is audacity.
Audacity.
Audacity. And I
Yes.
put it in audacity, but it's really just doing it, thinking about it, and getting the courage to start.
To start.
No matter
Okay.
how big your dream is, if you don't start, it's not going anywhere.
Wow.
And so audacity is very critical. You have to start, even if it is just a Google type. How do I, that could be the audacity you need. How do I do this? And that is it. It will give you an idea on how to start. So audacity. And then apart from audacity, discipline. Because I told you I had passion for IT, but the passion didn't get my scores. I had to learn hard. And so discipline is critical. And from discipline, commitment.
I see.
My goodness, if you say you're going to do something, put the axe to the grind and do it. Just don't think about, say I can't achieve it. Just do it. Put your mind that I will do it. And people will say, but you're saying it like it's easy. It's not. I just spoke about discipline. It's not.
Exactly.
But decide that you do it. Even if it is half a step you will take every day, just keep taking a step every day. Do something about it. And that'd be the summary of my passions. And fun. Have fun. Life is short.
Oh, that was another part I was coming to. Your social life. Do you have some fun? Do you have some social life?
A lot of fun.
Really?
A lot of fun. I love fun. My job is very stressful. You deal with people and they try and twist you in all sorts of ways. So if you don't have a place to de-stress, you will bring that to work. And I learned that late in my management style. I actually learned that late because I realized I was bringing a lot of heat on my employees, especially my managers, those I directly supervise. I expect them to do this and do this and do this. And because it wasn't happening the way I wanted it to, all that stress was just... So I had to learn to relax. And once I started relaxing and expecting less from them, they picked up a bit, or I relaxed a bit. So have fun.
Interesting. And so maybe zoom in a little bit on your relationship with men. How do men see you? Do they feel threatened to date you and to marry you? This kind of woman who can endure.
I plead the fifth. I shall not answer. Okay, I'm joking.
Oh, the men are waiting. Are you available? Are you married? Are you dating? Which one should we look?
That's the first one. I'm not married.
Okay, so they can propose.
In terms of men, so far I've had a quite interesting experience. I've not very, apart from the couple of years, these recent couple of years, I've not been exposed. So people don't meet me and know that this is who you are. They don't know that I am.
Oh, I see.
You don't see our billboards anywhere. So when they meet me, it's just Ellie. It's just Ellie, nice girl, likes to laugh. And we just start from there. It's later on that they find out who I am. And those who can handle it, they stay. I've not had anybody that says, oh, you're too big for me. I've not had anyone that says that. I've just had people who say you're too busy.
Oh.
The problem is too busy. I've heard too busy, but I've not really heard too big for me. So
I see. How do you hope to handle that?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
We have to zoom into prayers right now for Elinam to be able to handle that. Because that's also important, All right. And so maybe finally, before we go on a break, would you like to just wrap up by telling us leadership lessons that you have picked up in this capacity or roles that you've played and life in general, books you've read and all of that have guided you that you also wish to share, leadership lessons?
Okay. The first one I'll say is a leadership lesson I learned from Jack, one of our professors at China Europe International Business School. You are only a leader if you have a follower.
Oh, that was what was used as an intro for today's program by SKU. It says if you are a leader and you don't have anybody following you, you're just taking a walk.
You're only a leader if you have a follower. And that statement is so heavy. It means that to be a leader, you need to have people. And the only way to have people is to be able to manage people. You have to have compassion. You have to have empathy. You have to be understanding. And then you need to understand that not everybody is like you. One of my biggest problems, I used to have compassion and empathy and all of that, but I didn't get the fact that not everybody's like me.
Yeah.
Now, I've told you that throughout my life, I've had all this passion in IT. I learn hard. Like, for me, if I'm going to do something, I do it. And so I expect everybody to be like that. And that was the problem for me in my leadership journey, is expecting people to be like me. No, expect people to be who they are, and then use them to their best ability. Don't try and change their ability. Just make sure that they fit into what plan you have. And if they don't, please let them go. But don't degrade anybody. Don't make anybody feel bad for being who they are. They are who they are. And so for me, that's it. It's people management in my leadership skills. Learn about it. It's important. Learn it. Even if you're a leader and you are an engineer, do some HR courses. Learn about managing people. Learn about developing people. Because if your people are not developing, you will keep doing all the work.
Yeah.
You'll keep doing all the work. And it will be like you're in a canoe and you're rowing against the sea tide.
Yeah.
You won't be going anywhere because they're pulling you back. They are not grown. You alone went to do your master's. You alone went to do the course. Every course, you are the one who's going to do it. And you come back and you're shouting at them. No, let them go. Let them go and do the course so that they also know what you know. That's the only way you guys can communicate, because now you're on the same level. So it's people management. People management.
Awesome. Wow, this is phenomenal. And I'd like to just let you take some water now, and then we'll come back and then take the questions or comments from the audience this evening. And so Elinam Horgli is the lady we are talking to this evening as a model of a young business leader. And we are on a series on leadership stories, extraordinary leadership stories. And the Center for Transformational Leadership Africa just aims at bringing out these stories and these leadership lessons and honing your skills as a leader to become the best in your field. And so thank you so much, Elinam. Let's bring on Sarah to now help us with some adverts and announcements.
You see, the only thing you got to worry about tomorrow is making sure that you make today count. This is your day to learn how to change your world.
I need you to focus on why you were born.
Let's not lose what made us, but let's grip the future and let's become the best version for next year.
Most success is when a person develops ordinary qualities to an extraordinary degree through the application of hard, sustained work.
Now, for some people, this is not easy, but there is no good reason for not doing it.
You and I were created to make a difference.
Hello? Yeah, it looks like Auntie Sarah, we are not able to hear you.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I was in. Yeah.
Good.
So that's technology, and I guess Elinam will pardon me for that. Technology failed me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lead to Lead is our leadership program that we bring on every year. It's one day full. We'll have the morning focusing on Ghana and Africa. And then in the afternoon, we have the international sector that we will be joining Atlanta with John C. Maxwell and Patrick Luncioni and others. In Ghana, we're going to have Patrick Iwa. We're going to have Mrs. Obonai from Vodafone. We're going to have lots of people. So surprise, surprise, book your ticket and don't come alone. Make sure you come with your team, okay? As you grow, your team, Ellie talked about developing your people. and come and develop them. But before I go off and you ask questions, I'll put in my first question for Ellie.
Yeah.
Ellie, you did say about managing people. I would like you to share with us a story of how you have managed someone who may be underperforming to be able to grow up into the person that you expected him to be. And then secondly, also, how have you developed some of the staff that you're working with? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Conrad, should
Yes,
I answer
you
now?
can. Sure.
Okay. All right. So somebody who was underperforming. I'll tell a story. He wasn't delivering because he didn't understand why his output was required. We just told him to bring us this report and do this thing and bring us this report. He didn't understand how it fed into the general picture. And so it's just a report. What is it? It's not a big deal. I can submit it whenever. This inspection, why should I do this inspection all the time? The inspection this thing is small. It's just a small thing. And for us, if the truck fails an inspection, it cannot go and load. Like I said, petroleum is a very dangerous product. But it's just the small scratch on the tire. The driver can go and come. And then the truck leaves our yard, goes to the loading site, and goes to fail the inspection there. And now we have a bad reputation. And so the only way I could help him was introducing him to the impact of his decisions. I took him from where he was and brought him into the office, and then sat him in a meeting with one of our clients who was complaining about something that had a direct impact on something he did. And he sat in the meeting and saw the way the client was bashing us. Wow. And from that day, he after the meeting, he was like, "Is this how it is?"
He repented.
And we said, "Yes, this is how it is."
Exactly.
And I think also it was a failure on us to show him the fruits of his labor, the impact of his I don't know, the impact of his position. Because once he realized how important he was and the role that he played, he changed and started producing better. So that's the biggest story for me.
Yeah.
In terms of how I've developed my people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a rule: is if I can find a talent in-house, I'm not going to employ from outside. And most of the time, I don't employ on skill. Apart from some critical roles like engineering, I don't employ on skill. I will employ on character. And so I've had people who have started our business as interns, and right now he's a fleet manager. And that was because he showed potential. And so we kept moving him from the top. And what I do is I'll move you from here to there. If you're good here to then I move you here. If you're good here to then I move you here. Skills that you can learn, things that you can do. And when the others see us, my father and I, especially my father, when they see him giving responsibilities to other people, they know that if I work hard, I can get a better responsibility and then better pay. And so that's one of the things that we've done, is to ensure that we are always picking from inside and then testing people's limits. Apart from obviously the competency assurance process that we do, we also like to test people's limits and then give them a chance to show what they can do. No chance, no evidence.
Thank you so much. Over to you,
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So there is a question here from Albert Donko, who says, how do you intentionally connect your personal business vision to that of your oil transport business, which is your father's?
Wow, Albert. Take it easy on me, man.
Your personal business vision to that of your father's business, the oil transport business. How do you intentionally connect both?
So directly, there is no connection, but in terms of value, the values the businesses possess, that's where the connection is. Because one of the things my father has always put in the business, if it's on our websites and everything, is respect for the environment and respect for people. And those are the two things that I would say is in my own personal business. One is respect for people. Respecting people helps you to identify that you even though somebody is like, I keep repeating, even though somebody is not like you, doesn't think like you, they have the potential to be this or that. And so it's up to you, if you have the power right now, to help them become their fullest potential. And the respectful environment is the core of who I am, which is why I'm doing the plastic thing, which is why I do the beach cleanup exercises, which is why I have my foundation that focuses on maternal health. But directly there is no impact. But then I would say, if I'm cleaning up the environment, then the damage caused by petroleum products, maybe we are offsetting the carbon. But otherwise, the link is in the values.
Yeah. Awesome. So this is from Dorothy Akins. She says, hi, thank God it's Saturday for yet another wonderful lesson to learn on the leadership platform. Thank you so much, Dorothy Akins. And then Elinam Agozi is also watching us from Bolgatanga. Thank you so much for watching us, Elinam. And we have Doris Arthur says, greetings from Accra. Thanks for enlightening as always. Thank you, Auntie Doris. And then Douglas Amwate, well, he says he's facing some network challenges in Tema. Well, you can come and watch the recording later. It will still be on the Center for Transformational Leadership Africa pages on Facebook and on YouTube. And so you can just get there and you can have the recording. And then also we have Nadof, who says, yeah, good to have fun. Yeah, you have a lady supporting you. It's good to have some fun. I know she's also a very busy woman. Yeah, and then we have Cynthia Martinson says, great to have you early. Thanks for this presentation. All right, Cynthia. Then we have Setiam in Kruma. He says, a very good evening to you all. Great. I know he's also watching. And then we have Miss Abby. She has a question. She says, my question for Elinam is how she manages to stay on top of her job in such a male-dominated sector. What are the challenges and how has she been able to surmount them? Oh, somebody is also raising a question of gender. You are a gender activist, so please, this is your field right now.
Thank you. Sorry, what's her name?
This
the
is
name of the lady.
Miss Abby.
Miss Avy, thank you for the question. Thank you for the question.
Yeah.
So, how do I stay on top of my job? Goals.
Okay.
Goals. The company has targets. You also have to have your own personal targets. Like, this is what I'm going to achieve for the year. And you have to track them. I use journals to do that. There are some journals out there that you can get that can help you to track your progress. Because at the end of the year, you should be able to say, this is what I have done, or this is what I haven't done. So I track my progress. I set the goal and I track my progress. That's really, really important for me. Why do I do that? Because you can lose focus very easily. Remember, I work with people and human beings are very annoying. You can lose focus very easily. You can lose focus very easily. But if you have that thing that you're tracking yourself every day, every night, you go back and track your progress in terms of your goals, it helps you tremendously. In terms of male dominated, I have said this, it's been controversial, but sometimes trying to be a man in a male-dominated industry when you're a woman goes against you.
Say that again.
Trying to be a man in a male-dominated industry when you're a woman goes against you.
I don't understand. That's philosophical.
Because you are not a man and you're coming in there and acting like a man. They're going to look at you and what is she trying to prove?
Yeah, I get it now.
But come in there and be fully feminine. Just be confident, but be fully feminine. And understand also where you are, that you have entered a male-dominated industry. So because it's the male-dominated industry you are entering, it's you that is going to have to adapt to the industry. It will take time for the industry to adapt to you when the industry becomes gender neutral. But you cannot enter the industry and expect them to adapt to you. You're going to have to adapt to the industry, learn how to play the game and play it well.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about entering an industry, especially a male-dominated industry, is have integrity. As a woman, you have a lot to lose when you enter a male-dominated industry. If you start messing about very early, and you know what I'm talking about when I say messing about very early, they will lose respect for you, and that will go against the what you want to do. So you have to be careful with the kind of situations you put yourself in, with the kind of compromises that you make. And sometimes, even though saying yes might get you that contract, it might destroy your reputation over the long term.
Yeah.
So choose your battles wisely when you're entering a
Sure.
male-dominated industry.
I love that. I love that. Setiam Nkrumah also says, a very good evening to you all. He says, quite an insightful story for a woman. Great, thank you. And then Regina Ohui Kwe says, she's watching from Latte Biokoshi. Thank you so much for watching us. And then a question again, it says, Ellie, what do you consider the main challenges of entrepreneurial development confronting Ghana as a nation today, and what are your propositions to solve them?
Okay. Some people want to be entrepreneurs because other people are being entrepreneurs. That's the first thing. Entrepreneurship is not by force. I just said the reason why I do career coaching is because of this particular problem. Is that you think you don't want to work for anybody, so I'm going to go and start my own business. You work for yourself now. You're still working for somebody, and guess what? We are the worst bosses of our own selves because we give excuses but expect perfection to ourselves. And so entrepreneurship journey starts with the reason why. It's the why. If you don't have a strong why, you're going to get frustrated. Understand that the market will change. Like right now, in my industry, fuel prices have doubled 170% since the beginning of the year. So if I was spending 1 million cedis on fuel a month, I'm now spending 2.7. Think about what that does to my revenue. If you're an entrepreneur and you don't have a why for why you're doing your business, anytime the market changes, you will get so frustrated, you will give up. And that's what happens, that over 90% of businesses fail in the first 5 years.
Wow.
And then the next 10 years, another 70% of those will fail. So you have only 1 or 2 left. And there's a reason for it, because somebody must be the entrepreneur and then employ other people. If everybody's an entrepreneur, the market will be very, very expensive. So why is critical. Get your why right. We have a short time, so get the why right. The why you're doing the business. Why is critical, because that's what will keep you when the challenges come.
Great. Also, let's take from Aram Gozi, also from Bolgatanga, says, thanks, Elinam. Your energy is clearly contagious. But any significant failures or regrets?
Yes.
Okay.
In 2017, I tried to start. Oh, yes. It cost me money. So, yes.
Yeah.
In 2007, I started, that's when I started my company. And I tried to go into IT full time. I tried to start a Wi-Fi business. And I put all my hopes on one client who wanted to do a really big project. The client hadn't signed the BOQ, but they had signed a proposal, but they hadn't signed the BOQ. And I had gone ahead to purchase equipment to do the test, the POC. And my goodness, it was a huge loss.
Imagine where the story is going.
Exactly, it was a huge loss, and it taught me a very big lesson. There are other lessons I've learned in terms of people relations.
Remember how much was involved in this?
Am I maybe somewhere $10K maybe at that time?
Whoa! Which year is this?
2017.
Oh, quite recent.
Yeah, and with my father, if you want to do something fantastic like this, okay, go and try. So I had to use my savings and. Yeah, go and try. I had to use my savings, and it really, really bit me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you couldn't resurrect that business?
No, I still have the equipment. I haven't resurrected that business.
I see. Maybe you can auction them or call for partnership.
Probably.
Maybe, yeah.
So, yeah, that was a big regret.
Regret. Wow, sorry. And let's take some other. It says. Okay, so God save David. That's the name of someone. God save David. I love the name. So well done to you and the guests. Please, where is SK Yim? Say hi to him from God Save David in Nigeria. Well, our boss, Mr. SK Yim, tonight is having another engagement somewhere. And so he asked me to stand in for him. So thank you. God Save David. He will hear. And then Cindy Hono, I am super excited to be part of this meeting. I've learned a lot. Thank you so much, Madam Ellie. Yeah. And then Albert Donko has another one. He says, you hire for character and train for skills. My biggest takeaway. Okay. Yeah. So he's given us his biggest takeaway. He says, you hire for character and then you train for skills. Can you highlight that a little bit?
There are some people that are skilled engineers. They've gone to tech. They finished the course. They are working in the bank.
Yeah.
Because they didn't really like the engineering. Their parents probably told them to do it. Their father was probably an engineer. And so if you only pay attention to the skill, and sometimes, you know, companies, we get carried away with 5 years experience. If you only pay attention to the skill, you will hire somebody that becomes a white elephant in your office.
Yeah.
We've made that mistake before. We hired a PhD person to come and manage our maintenance section, and he had very horrible people skills. And so the whole department was in trouble. So sometimes business people have to understand what the business needs and hire to fit that need.
Yeah.
So for instance, at this particular point in time in the maintenance department, what we need is somebody that can move people.
Yeah.
So I might not need somebody with a mechanic degree, but I need somebody with the charisma to move the maintenance team to do the work. Because understand that a manager is not coming to do the work. They are coming to see that the work is done.
Exactly.
And so that's why it's critical for us that we hire the character of the person. Does this person fit into our company's values? Does this person fit into even my leadership skills? That's one thing entrepreneurs need to understand. When you start hiring people, they need to be able to fit into your style of leadership.
Yeah.
Some people need a micromanager. You might not be a micromanager type of person. And so the two of you be frustrated. And so that's why I hire for character. The skill I can always train. Always train later, except of course it's a delicate field like a driver. You need the skill, but the other ones, the office work, yes, I would definitely choose character first because it's the company first. I need you to be productive first, and then I'll train you to become whoever I need you to become in the business.
I see. And you said it takes about how long to engage someone, a driver, for example? What the process?
So the driver, yes. So you submit your application, it stays with us. We do recruitment maybe every 2 months now. It used to be every quarter, but every 2 months now we do recruitment. So that's a 2-month waiting period. Then there's the review period. We have 1 month of the recruitment process, you know, coming for interviews, writing an exam, And then we have a 1 month attachment process where we attach you to a senior driver and he wants to see how you function. That time you don't drive, you still don't drive. But he wants to see he's basically testing your character and your psychometrics. And then he comes to report that this person is okay. They can fit into our company profile. They can work with us. They understand us. And if he says yes, if the senior driver confirms that you can do that, then you go through a probation process. Before this, you would probably have done 10 days to 15 days in the classroom, learning our policies and procedures and company administrative roles to become like Horgli.
I see.
And then you have another 3 months where we test all your skills in terms of your how close you drive on the road, how much braking you do, how much acceleration you do. We are testing all these soft skills in driving. And then if you pass all those, you can become a driver. So it's about 7 months.
Whoa, I see. That's a long process, but because of the field that you work in, you said, safety is key and you can't make a mistake. That's petroleum you're carrying or petroleum products, and it can be so dangerous. Wow, thank you so much for that insight. Maybe just final question, maybe final two. Let's talk about STEM education, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and all of that, and girls and all of that. Now we are trying to position our country to focus on these things. Add your word to rate. What's the benefit to us?
Ghana is a growing nation. And I'm happy you asked this question because right now all of us are complaining about the dollar. The dollar is bad because we need to buy dollars to buy things from outside. That's why the dollar is bad. Let's understand it. If people needed to buy CDs to buy things from us, we will not have this problem.
Yeah.
So what are we producing for them to come and buy from us?
Oh.
These countries that you've seen that have grown, Malaysia, Singapore, all the people that we got independence with, they have things that they are supplying to the world, which is why the world needs them and their economy is stable. So ask Ghana, why are we not doing the same? You go to the universities and you see the number of administrative and philosophical courses they are doing. I'm not saying it's not important, but look at the number of students in there versus look at the number of students in engineering. We're a growing country. We need infrastructure. We need roads. We need schools. We need
Elinam
hospitals.
will be back. Yeah.
Hi. So we need factories. We need all these things. But what are we doing? We are going to school to learn BSc admin. I'm not saying your course is bad. I'm just saying when you come out of school, there's no job for you. Meanwhile, there are companies like me who are looking for engineers every day. I had a friend who used to work with Talo Ghana, and they had to employ engineers from outside, not because they want outsiders. They don't want to pay expert fees, but the skill is not here. It was so bad they had to partner. Yes, they had to partner with universities to train students so that they can hire them.
Really?
Yes.
Now we have universities that teach engineering courses. I mean, all over.
Yes, but when the engineering students finish, those who like engineering, when they finish, they leave the country. They go and work outside.
I see.
And then the ones who didn't like the engineering, when they finish, they don't want anything to do with engineering. And when you employ them, you realize that, this person, you have an engineering degree. Are you sure?
Yeah,
because it's like, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Some people, Conrad, this is so bad because I'm heavily involved in the recruitment. So you talk to somebody who says they have finished accounting, like an accounting course, banking and finance or something. And the last thing they remember is what they did in their project work. The whole education that they did in the school, they don't remember.
Whoa, that's terrible.
That is bad. So that's why I say that we need to be careful about the kind of graduates we are producing.
Yeah.
Our labor market is in trouble right now. And it's because we are not targeting the training that we are doing to what the country needs. Ghana is not a country that needs too many administrators, too many engineers, too many administrators, too many of the psychological sciences. Not right now. What we need right now is hands that will help us grow. So I was quite sad when the polytechnics were changed to university because then they'll start offering all these other BA courses, But what we need is their skill. If you come to my office, I have more whole polytechnic students than university graduates.
Whoa.
Because I'm looking for technical skills. My industry is a technical industry. And if Ghana is a growing economy and we need infrastructure to grow, then we need technical skills.
I
So
see.
if anybody is listening to me here, look at what Ghana needs and tailor your education towards that, because there are companies that are willing to employ you. We just can't find the right people.
And we thought, I mean, we always say, and we always complain that there are no jobs in the system. And you're here telling us that you have jobs, only that you're not getting the right kind of people to fit those roles.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes. That's very true. Tanker drive. So, for instance, we have something we call driver mechanics, right? They are drivers, but they are trained engineers. Now, tanker driving is a very stable business, a stable job. You get benefits, you get road expenses, you get a comprehensive salary. You join a union, and everything you do is taken care of. All you have to do is show up and drive the car.
Really?
At the end of the month, if put together, they can earn up to 5,000 cedis. How much are you earning? How much are they earning in banks as front desk people? But you think that is a degrading job until you won't do it.
Yeah.
But that's what we need. We need to transport things. There are goods on the farm that need to be transported.
Wow.
So look at what the country needs and focus there. Because, Conrad, if I come to the market and try and sell, if I come to you and try and sell you a brazier, I'll not make that sale because you don't need it.
My wife needs one.
Let's say you weren't married, right? And I come and sell you a brazier.
My girlfriend would need one.
Conrad. But you get the point, though.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
If I come and try and sell you what you don't need, I won't make that sale.
Sure.
And that's what a lot of the graduates are doing nowadays. You've gone to school to learn a skill that is not needed, and you're forcing the market to take you. I would really love it if somebody did research on the unemployed graduates and the type of skill they have.
Yeah.
I would love to see the report, the result of that study.
Because
then you will begin to understand. Thank you, please. Then you begin to understand that it's not that there's no jobs, it's that the skill set that is available is not required.
I see. Interesting one there. Hey, I've made you talk for long, but it looks like for us, we're just enjoying our conversation. Yeah, but I think you should also write a proposal to the government or any relevant agencies on what you have assessed the market, the skills that are really, really needed in the job market as an employer, and make some proposals, I think. Okay.
Sure. I'll do my best.
Oh, great. I've had a wonderful time with Elinam Horgli, the Deputy Managing Director of J.K. Horgli Transport and Company Limited, the largest 100% Ghanaian-owned and operated petroleum transportation business in Ghana and West Africa. And she's also the MD of Ablah Trading and Advisory Limited. She's been telling us a lot about her story and what she's seen in the job market and dealing with people and leadership in general. It's been amazing having you this evening. Thank you so much, Elinam Horgli, for joining us this evening. We'll hand over to Sarah Jesse, to round off today's show.
Yes. Thank you so much, Conrad, for hosting our guest today, and for Ellie for really sharing with us her leadership lessons. And as always, to our participants for active comments and questions. We could not have done this without you being on the call. So thank you, and thank you. And remember, October 7th is right coming up. So get your tickets, not for yourself, for your team, so that you will be able to bring your business and company to the next level. 7th October, CTL Africa and its partners will be hosting the leadership Lead to Lead program that we bring to you every year. And it's a must that you have to be there. Okay? Thank you, Elinam, and thank you, Conrad. And as Mr. Inyim will always say, tomorrow is Sunday. Don't forget to go to church. Okay? So until next Saturday, it is us, the Leadership Platform, signing off, when we'll bring you another leadership person. And that's a surprise. So stay tuned. Thank you so much, and good night.
Yeah,
Elena, just wait for us to close up.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. Thank you so much. Abigail, over to you.
You see, the only thing you got to worry about tomorrow is making sure that you make today count. This is your day to learn how to change your world.
I need you to focus on why you were born.
Let's not lose what made us, but let's grip the future and let's become the best version for next year.
Most success is when a person develops ordinary qualities to an extraordinary degree through the application of hard, sustained work.
Now, for some people, this is not easy, but there is no good reason for not doing it.
You and I were created to make a difference.